Patagonia begins not with mountains, but with emptiness. Vast plains stretch beneath a cold, open sky, where frozen grass bends endlessly under the force of relentless wind. Here, the land is shaped more by air than by water, and the Andes appear only as distant shadows on the horizon. Frost settles deep into the soil, holding the memory of countless winters that have passed before. Clouds move slowly above, casting shifting light across the steppe, reminding us that time behaves differently in open space. There are no roads, no signs of permanence, and human presence fades almost immediately. Wind fills the silence, carrying sound across the land without obstruction. Distance becomes overwhelming, scale redefines perspective, and the horizon offers no end. Patagonia opens this journey by revealing a world where space dominates and humanity becomes small. From the frozen foothills, the Andes rise with quiet force, revealing a mountain world shaped by ice, wind, and immense geological time. Jagged peaks cut through fast-moving clouds, their edges sharpened by relentless weather and constant erosion. Deep valleys funnel cold air across the range, while snow drifts endlessly along exposed ridgelines. Glaciers carve slow paths through stone, defining the terrain long after storms have passed. Up here, movement is cautious. Weather shifts without warning, and scale becomes vertical rather than wide. Light appears briefly, illuminating peaks before vanishing again into cloud and shadow. The Patagonian Andes stand as a natural barrier, dividing landscapes and climates, reminding us that in this part of the world, elevation commands respect, and the mountains set the terms of the journey. As the Andes sharpen and rise, the landscape reaches one of its most dramatic expressions. Torres del Paine stands as a fortress of stone, where granite towers erupt suddenly from glacial valleys below. These peaks were carved by ice and time, their vertical faces resisting constant wind and shifting weather. Below them, frozen lakes and winding ridges reflect a landscape in constant motion, shaped by glaciers that still define its form. Light appears briefly, revealing color and contrast before clouds reclaim the sky. Movement here is slow, deliberate, and exposed, as the terrain offers no shelter from the elements. Torres del Paine reveals its Rogi, a place where ice, rock, and wind exist in fragile balance, and nature dominates every frame. As Patagonia moves deeper into the south, the landscape transforms into ice. Los Glaciares National Park is defined by vast frozen expanses, where enormous ice fields stretch between dark mountain ranges. Glaciers flow slowly through valleys like frozen rivers, their surfaces fractured by deep crevasses and glowing blue beneath diffused light. Every movement here is deliberate, shaped by cold and gravity rather than speed. Ice preserves time, trapping air and memory within its layers. Clouds drift overhead, casting shadows that travel across the frozen terrain. This is a landscape in constant, silent motion where change occurs over centuries rather than moments. in los glaciares Patagonia Mount, patient and different to human scale. A mão Patagonia throws in constant motion. This glacier presses forward against the lake, its towering ice walls fractured by stress and gravity. Deep cracks run through the blue ice, signaling the slow but unstoppable movement beneath the surface. At unpredictable moments, massive sections break away, collapsing into the water below with explosive force. These events reshape the glacier's edge, reminding us that ice is never truly still. Beneath the sea builds, chimney advance is inevitable. Perito Moreno is not a relic of the past, but a living structure, a powerful reminder that even the coldest landscapes are shaped by motion. At the heart of southern Patagonia lies a frozen engine that shapes the land far beyond its boundaries. The southern Patagonian ice field stretches across mountains and valleys, feeding glaciers that flow outward in every direction. From above, the ice appears endless and still, yet beneath the surface it moves slowly, driven by gravity and time. Deep crevasses expose the forces at work, while layers of compressed snow preserve centuries of climate history. There are no landmarks here, no sense of distance or orientation, only wind, cold, and scale. This vast ice mass defines Patagonia's southern character, reminding us that the landscape is shaped not by moments, but by patience measured in centuries. Rising abruptly from the Patagonian landscape, Fitz and Cerro. Torre represents some of the most dramatic mountain forms on Earth. These granite spires pierce the sky with sharp precision, shaped by ice, wind, and relentless erosion. Weather moves quickly here, clouds racing across the peaks, revealing and concealing their form in moments. Snow clings to narrow ridgelines, and vertical walls offer no shelter from the elements. Movement is exposed, scale is exaggerated, and every angle emphasizes height. These mountains are not defined by size alone, but by their defiance of balance and symmetry. In Fitz and Cerro Torre, Patagonia reveals its most striking vertical expression, a landscape shaped by tension, elevation, and constant atmospheric motion. Between mountains and ice, Patagonia reveals moments of calm. The Patagonian lakes collect glacial meltwater, their turquoise color shaped by fine mineral sediments carried from the ice above. In winter, their surfaces partially freeze, balancing between motion and stillness. Wind disturbs the water, breaking reflections and reminding us that weather is never far away. Shorelines shift with ice and light, creating a landscape that feels both fluid and temporary. These lakes serve as mirrors of the surrounding terrain, reflecting peaks, clouds, and passing storms. In contrast to the harshness of rock and ice, the lakes offer brief stillness, a pause within a land defined by movement and change. In Patagonia, weather is never still. Powerful winds shape the land and dictate movement, carrying clouds, snow, and dust across vast open spaces. Storms arrive without warning, transforming visibility and light in moments. Calm skies can quickly collapse into snow and shadow, only to clear again just as fast. These forces sculpt the terrain over time, eroding rock, flattening vegetation, and defining the rhythm of life. The wind connects every region, moving freely between mountains, lakes, and plains. Here, weather is not a backdrop, it is an active presence, shaping Patagonia into one of the most dynamic landscapes on Earth. At the southern edge of the continent lies Tierra del Fuego, a place where land breaks apart and meets the sea. Here, mountains rise directly from cold waters, and forests grow under constant wind and moisture. The landscape feels fragmented, shaped by channels, fjords, and shifting weather. Snow, cloud, and ocean exist in close proximity, creating a sense of isolation and distance. Movement is slow, controlled by terrain and climate rather than choice. Tierra del Fuego marks the transition from land to ocean, from Patagonia to the wider southern hemisphere. It is not an ending, but a threshold where the continent gives way to the forces of the sea. The Strait of Magellan forms a narrow passage between continents and oceans. Cold waters move with force here, shaped by strong currents and unpredictable weather. For centuries, this strait served as a critical route between the Atlantic and the Pacific, long before modern navigation. The surrounding land offers little shelter, and visibility can change without warning. Water, wind, and rock interact constantly, creating a corridor defined by movement. This is a place of transition, where geography compresses space and amplifies natural forces. The Strait of Magellan remains a reminder of how Patagonia connects land, sea, and history through a single, restless channel. At the edge of the continent stands Cape Horn. Beyond this point, land ends and the Southern Ocean begins. Winds are unbroken, waves are relentless, and the landscape offers no protection. For centuries, sailors faced these waters as the final challenge of the known world. Here, geography reaches its limit, and the forces of the planet take full control. There are no roads forward, only open ocean and moving sky. Cape Horn is not defined by what lies beyond it, but by what it represents, the boundary between human exploration and the raw power of nature. This is Patagonia, esse final, frontier we ends and the earth continue.